Bonjour everyone, welcome back to my channel. 2.5-ish years ago I found myself in a bit of a rut with my personal style, and so I did an entire revamp of my wardrobe. I've used a lot of rules and principles to get my wardrobe to where it is today, and I'm pretty happy with where my style is right now. Still, that said, rebuilding my wardrobe has definitely been a learning process. So if I had to start my wardrobe from scratch, these are the things that I'd buy this time around. First thing I do is I would try to focus more on the neutrals. I have a color scheme for my wardrobe that I follow religiously, and I'm not someone who only wears neutral. I do have a bit of color in there, but I feel like as I've built my wardrobe over the past 2.5 years, I have over-focused a little bit on making sure that I had things in these colors. And it's good and bad because I do wear all these pieces, but I would have probably gained even more from holding off a little bit on some of these more colorful pieces and spend that time and money looking for something in more neutral colors. I do wear a color, but I tend to wear them a little bit less, and at this point, whenever I'm reaching for something in black, I have to reach for one of the few things that I have, even though I would have probably been better off having more options in the neutral colors. So moving on, the next thing I would add is fitted tops. I am one of those people for whom a t-shirt does not work. It makes me look heavier than I am, it makes me look frumpy. I feel like my body shape is a little bit too soft, my bust is a little bit too large, and a t-shirt is just not a good look on me. So if you find yourself also not really rocking a t-shirt, there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, stop buying them and start looking for other tops. At least that is what I've done, and if I was building my wardrobe from scratch, it's exactly what I do now. I like long sleeved fitted tops, crew necks, v-necks, turtlenecks. I extend this to all other tops as well. Fitted square necks and also fitted tank tops with like a wider strap tends to look really well on me. So if I was starting over, I'd make sure that whenever I was getting something for my top, these are the ones I'd get. The next thing I'd run to get is button-ups. This is the only exception I have to the rule that I just mentioned. I feel like a button-up really suits me and my style. I feel like my style tends to be a little bit more like preppy, borderline business casual sometimes, and a button-up is just a really good look. It also suits my body, as I tend to wear things that are sort of like high-waisted, and I will then just tuck my shirt into whatever button I'm wearing. Not all button-ups are equal. I've had a couple these past couple of years in very low quality that really didn't do so well within my wardrobe, and looking back, it was sort of pointless to have them for that short of amount of time because a button-up is something that I don't grow tired of. So better off next time to hold on a little bit on the cheaper or fast fashion pieces and then get something in higher quality, at least for the majority. I do have an exception to this, which is whenever I get linen shirts that I will just sort of like wear to the beach or whenever it's a really hot day. Those I tend to get a little bit not as great quality so that I don't really worry about the deterioration of them as I go. I feel like it's also one of the easiest ways to look chic and stylish. I feel like we can also be pretty certain that it's not something that's about to go out of style as we invest in them. On top of that, I'd get slightly intricate tops. I used to be so into these like super intricate tops with all the lace and the details, but I found with time that I can't get myself to wear them, so I've had to settle on these like Reformation looking tops where it's still sort of like a simple top, but there's a little bit more going on. There will be a little bit of an interesting sleeve, maybe the cutout will be really nice. Something that is basically the perfect balance of intricate but still simple. I love having these in my wardrobe. So whenever I were to get something extra fancy, I'd make sure that these were the ones that I would get. Next thing I would run to get if I was starting from scratch is sweaters in wool and cashmere. Ever since I've switched to buying only wool and cashmere for my sweaters, I haven't had a single sweater that I've grown tired of. Even for the lower quality ones, as long as they're still holding up, even if they do start pilling, I just use a deep pillow to remove whatever pilling is there. What else I really love about wool and cashmere is that it is super body temperature regulating, which means that you never really overheat or get too cold in a cashmere sweater. It's essentially like regulate your body temperature temperature for you. And on top of that, you do not have to wash them ever. I mean, you can if you really want to, but in theory, you don't have to. You just hang the sweater outside to basically clean itself in the air, as both wool and cashmere is antibacterial. Also, when it comes to cashmere, it doesn't really get more luxurious than that in terms of fabric. So for me personally, I feel like when I'm wearing the best version of something, so when I'm wearing a sweater in cashmere, I just feel a little bit extra luxurious and comfortable that day. I have a bunch of these right now in different colors, and while I do love all of them, if I was starting from scratch, I'd make sure I'd cover the neutrals first. Right now, I literally don't have a single black sweater, which is just an abomination in my wardrobe. The next thing I would run to get is A-line mini skirts. I find that it is just the perfect proportion for my body when I wear it with my fitted tops. I don't like anything too mini, but still above the knee. I'd make sure that I would find something for different occasions, something in a silk, something in just like a regular cotton polyester type of look. There's also denim and wool. Basically, I like this look, but in different colors and in different textures. They build so many outfits for me, at least, that it's one of those things that I would make sure to stock up on in a lot of different versions. Then short and sweet, I'd also make sure that I add some jeans. I'd say for the majority of the time, my style is rather elegant, but I do really love a mix between elegant and casual, and when I'm wearing my nice boots and a really beautiful coat, like wearing jeans with it just still looks super chic, but it's really casual. So finding that perfect pair of jeans is all it really has to be for me, because I know some people are really into their denim and they have a ton to choose from within their wardrobe, but for me, really, I can go with 1 to 3 pairs that fit really well, and then whatever I have beyond that in terms of jeans, I wouldn't wear anyway, because I tend to just wear my favorites. I'd also make sure that I got a couple of pants, also something high-waisted. I think that's just a really good look, at least for me personally. They look kind of chic and often a little bit more elegant than jeans. They're also a little bit more comfortable. I would make sure that I would get these in exactly the neutrals that I like, something like an oat color and a black. For me personally, it's hard to find a pair I really think fit, but once I do, I wear them all the time. So it makes a lot of sense to go for something that is a little bit more expensive given its better quality, because once I nail it, I will wear a pair of pants so many times. If I was building my wardrobe from scratch in terms of shoes, I'd just run to get a bunch of pointy-toed black boots, preferably tight in the ankle, so that whenever I'm wearing tights or bare legs, I can still wear the boot and not have it cut me off at the leg, at least from a shape perspective. If you are a regular to my channel, you are so familiar with the boots I have of this kind in my wardrobe already, and I would buy these boots 10 times over. I've been wearing practically nothing else for 3 years and I'm still not tired of them. I think if I were to start that process from scratch, however, I would spend triple the amount of money, just because the boots I have right now, I do really love them, but they are more mid-range, which means that after about 150 times of wear, they will start to disintegrate. Even though I take them to a cobbler and I look out for the leather, at some point it just gets tired, and when you really find a really well-crafted pair of shoes, they will just last so much longer than that. So if I were to do that over again, starting from scratch, I'd run out and get one really perfect pair of black leather boots with a pointy toe in immaculate quality, so that I could just wear these. What I also like about this type of boot is that I feel like it matures any outfit a little bit, but in a really chic and stylish way. Obviously, I have other types of shoes in my wardrobe, but these are the only types of shoes that are truly crucial to my personal style. The next thing I would get if I was starting from scratch is great quality long lined wool coats. It is insane what just a great quality coat will do for your style. I feel like whenever we tend to cut corners when it comes to stuff like outerwear, because most outerwear take up so much space of your outfit as you're still wearing it, it will really make or break whether you're looking stylish or not. It's something I find myself often paying attention to when I'm seeing others out and about in the city. Whenever someone is wearing a coat that tends to really crease and fold at like the end or the button, it just pollutes that person's entire outfit, even if they otherwise look really neatly put together. And a really great quality coat won't really do that. It'll just really let gravity do its thing, and it'll just look beautiful and straight in its entirety. And I absolutely love something like that for my wardrobe. It's one of the first things I'd run to get immediately. Building a little bit on that, I would also get a trench coat straight away. I have a vintage Burberry one, and I also wear that all the time whenever the weather allows for it. It's always chic, it's so easy. If you are someone who appreciates it as a staple, I just find that it's something you will wear over and over again. And if you get something in great quality that you really adore, you will only really need that one. The next thing I would get if I was starting from scratch is blazers. I absolutely love a blazer, and I love that they've been so popular for so long. I like to wear them just as a jacket or even as part of an outfit, sometimes when I'm wearing like a coat on top of it, even if it's winter or something like that. I have one really amazing quality blazer I bought secondhand from Jill Sander, and then I have a couple of mid-range ones, and then I have a couple of fast fashion blazers, but honestly don't even really have them anymore because they do tend to fall apart so quickly, and after a very short amount of wear they don't look so good. And if you're anything like me, you will wear your blazers to death all the time. So getting these from scratch, I'd make sure that I get something that is wearable over and over again. And honestly, I'd probably get a little bit more of them now, seeing the past couple of years just how much I will wear the ones that I have. It's definitely something that if I was starting from scratch, I would get more of. Then the next thing I would get is dresses. If I was starting from scratch, I would get some very, very simple looking dresses. I would just get that black slip silk dress, because again, I tend to buy something that is a little bit too interesting in the design or something in a very prominent color, and it's not really a problem. But if I was starting from scratch, I'd make sure that I cover the basics first. Then I would get myself a couple of good quality bags. I know that a lot of people are very into luxury handbags, and some people also couldn't care less. For me personally, it is essential that the bag that I own is in great quality, but that said, I do also like a luxury brand bag on top of that. Right now in my wardrobe, I only really have two bags that I wear. One is my casual work bag, and that is a luxury brand because that is Hermes, but then my handbag is from Pauline, and it's a lot more affordable, the brand. I believe my bag was like $300. I find that because I tend to wear my bags as much as I do, I don't mind wearing the same bag over and over and over again. I also find that I can allow myself that more high-end piece. So even though I love the Pauline bag I have right now, if I was starting from scratch, I'd just buy my Hermes bag over again. But then I'll probably get also like a luxury handbag. And here again, it's important to cover your neutrals, because even though I guess camel is technically a neutral, I should have probably gotten one in black. So if I was starting from scratch, I would get a black luxury handbag. Then I want to do a bit of a wrap up, something that basically covers all of it, and that is I would make sure to get good quality pieces more than anything whenever possible. If there's anything I've learned over the past couple of years, it is that if a piece isn't really of great quality, I don't really treasure and wear it the same way. But when there is an exception to that rule, and I then do, I will then wear a low quality piece a lot in a very short time span, and then soon after that, that piece will just not look good, because this day and age, it really is not all clothes that is made to last. And then what happens is that very shortly I'm short one piece that I really like to wear, and I have to wear something else in its stead. But when you find something in really great quality and it is truly a key piece within your wardrobe, you will wear that hundreds of times. And that's honestly not always that easy to find, but if I was starting from scratch, I would be even more meticulous in trying to find these key pieces and making sure I got something that wasn't really great quality, even if I had to pay a little bit extra. Because surely from tracking my wardrobe and what I wear every single day for the past more than 2 years, the repeating theme just is that whenever I get something in low quality, I mean, it's hard not to get carried away and do it sometimes anyway, but it surely just really won't last in my wardrobe. And by lasting, what I mean is that it will fall apart with wear, which is a shame. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know. And here's another couple of videos from me YouTube thinks you might want to watch, and I will see you in the next one.